Hey humans, how's it going? Susan Ruth here. Thanks for listening to another episode of Hey Human Podcast. On this episode, I sat down with the lovely Emily West. She is a performer, artist, songwriter. She is an actress and a comedian. She's incredibly talented. Her voice is stunning. She has a new album out. It's called Symphonies. She also has 2 music videos in support of that record. And one song is called Don't Ever Go to Paris When You're Lonely. And the other is called Heaven and Back. There's links for all that stuff on Hey Human Podcast's main website and extra stuff there as well, as you know, because you're listening to the podcast and you've probably listened to other episodes. Thank you very much, which means you know the drill. The rest of the drill that I'm going to repeat, even though you know it, Hey Human Podcast is on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to follow me on Twitter, that's Susan Ruthism. And all my regular social media, if you want to follow me, it's Susan Ruthism. What else? You already know about heyhumanpodcast.com. You already probably know that you can email me, susan@heyhumanpodcast.com. I love to hear from you, and I will write you back. Talking with Emily was really great. We talked about all sorts of things: relationships, music, travel, dogs, our families growing up. She was very open and very honest and lovely, and I'm really excited for you guys to hear what she had to say. And yeah, other than that, in the world at large, we're just out of the Hurricane Harvey devastating Texas, Houston, and surrounding areas. And I know they still need help and financial help, or toothpaste or deodorant or clothing or whatever it is. If you can help, please do. Hurricane Irma it looks like it may hit Florida. Let's hope it doesn't. Let's hope by the time it gets to Florida shores, it's just a sprinkle. Oh, man, it's weird times. My parents, I talked to them this morning, and they're on the West Coast, and the fires that are going on, there's ash everywhere on their cars, and it's just nutty. It's so nutty. Anyway, be good to yourselves out there. Know that we're all in this together. I mean, I hope that as you listen to these episodes, you feel closer to your fellow human, that you feel a kinship, that somehow this is making the web a little smaller. Not the World Wide Web, but the web of humanity. That's my goal, at least, to do these so that you do feel like that. Support each other and love each other and be good to each other, and yeah, all that good stuff. All right, enough of that. Let's get to the point, which is Emily West, the lovely, lovely Emily West. Hope you enjoy. Hi, Emily West.
Hi, Susan.
Thanks for being on Hey Human.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I feel super important. And I have arranged a bunch of fruit for you.
It's beautiful. I was saying that when I walked in, the arrangement is such that I thought, I wonder if she's Buddhist, because it's so properly put out, the way a Buddhist offering would be.
The arrangement isn't quite to Martha Stewart par, but it is there.
It's
and
beautiful.
I love
the watermelon doesn't even look real.
Huh?
The watermelon
because it's frozen and it's been sitting in my fridge uncovered.
Oh,
so you're welcome to any of that.
Well, that's very kind. Thank you. It looks
welcome
like
to anything
soap or I don't know. Your apartment is adorable.
Well, thank you.
It's like being in a treehouse, which makes me very happy.
I wish that all of your listeners could just look at this picture. Maybe you could post it online. But I still feel like this girl this is my bedroom. This is exactly how I do my decorating. It's just, I am the same girl.
You haven't changed a bit.
I haven't changed a bit. I'm playing Office. I have my mom's, her recipe cards out. And I'm like going, hello, Nancy. How are you today? Oh, I can't fit you in. The doctor can't see you.
That's hilarious.
And anyway, it's just the same decor. I'm just dressed
great.
I'm an 8th grader.
I love, when I was little, I used to do I pretended I had a newspaper, and I would send out myself as the reporters that would go get the latest news. And,
you were the reporter.
Oh yeah, and the editor. I was.
You were everything,
You
still are.
I know.
You got your dream come true.
It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, it's great that we've been talking about having you on for quite a while, and I'm excited that here you are, en flash.
Well, man, I love talking about me, so thanks
good.
for having me
Absolutely.
in the world of me. Thanks for having
absolutely.
me.
So you were born in Waterloo, Iowa. Is that a small town? Or?
Waterloo, Iowa. It's not like to the point where everyone's boyfriends with their brother. It's not like that. It's a city. It's a city town.
Okay.
And I'm really proud of where I come from. And anytime I go play there, they're just like. Actually, the last time I played at the. Oh God, you're gonna have to edit this. I can hardly pronounce it. This really huge venue. It's a new one, and there was like a line of people that were there to see me, and a couple mean teachers were there to see me. So it was like I always thought that you thought that I was,
awful or something.
awful, and now you're here. You're waiting in line to see me. I win.
Yeah, I had some pretty bad teachers myself, but who knows? Did you say they were mean?
One was a little bit mean, but I think, after growing up, I think that she just was a woman that knew what she wanted.
Yeah.
She'd never wanted kids.
Interesting.
But she liked to teach. But I don't understand how one gets involved in... Maybe. It was a control
people
thing.
I think... I know some people that have control stuff, type A stuff, that they were drawn to the teaching profession. For teaching small people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
We are drawn to that which serves our ego.
Completely.
Yeah.
So anyway, but I love growing up in Waterloo, and that's where I come from. I moved to Nashville when I was 18.
I bet you dug the ABBA song.
Yeah, Waterloo. I didn't even know that was a song until like 23. Michael Knox told me he kept singing that song to me, and I'm like, what are you singing?
Oh, that's so funny.
What a horrible melody that you're singing. I'm just kidding. So I just learned what that was when I was in my 20s.
Oh, that's so funny. So were you always a musical, theatrical? When I think of you, I think of a theatrical person. The first time I met you was, you may not remember this, but I had first moved to town. It's probably, I guess it would have been about 11 years ago. It was at the Red Door, back when the Red Door was really cool.
I remember you met with my brother in Denver. You were friends with my brother, Mark.
I was?
Yeah,
No.
I think so.
Really?
I think you knew my brother. I think
wonder-
you went out. Or you didn't go out with my brother.
Wait, I would remember that.
You didn't go out with my brother, but you met him with a group
here?
of friends. Yeah, I don't know, but I remember you were like, I know your brother, Mark Nemmers. I think it was at Mercy Lounge, unless there's another beautiful woman named Susan that...
I had her killed, so it's just me.
Okay.
No, I don't know. It's not, but my memory for the past is more spotty. But I just remember you being very vivacious and gregarious and having everybody in stitches. So that's like an imprint of when I first met you that lasted, even before I ever saw you perform or anything. So were you always that person?
I wasn't, and after copious amounts of therapy, I'm discovering that in all those times where I was like the loudmouth girl out in public, I don't think that I was necessarily... I think that there are parts of me that are funny and escape to that kind of vaudeville, Madeline Kahn, Gilda Radner, Elaine Stritch kind of thing. That is authentically, I love those women. I would love to be those women. But I think back then I was so terrified and shy. I essentially am a very shy person. But when I get alone is when I thrive and all my imaginary playmates come out. Or if we really know each other, then you're like, could you please be quiet?
Right.
But I think when I'm out in a group, I'm either really quiet these days or hiding, or authentically just happy and doing my Madeline Kahn impersonation.
Well, I think shy people, in order to compensate for that, being a shy person myself, that I think that, you tend to, in large groups, become the center of attention and almost a way to beat the panic that you're feeling
completely
on the inside.
Yeah. And I actually have to question, this is for all you psychological people out there, I actually have to question if, like, wow, am I actually having a good time, or is this just me pretending to have a good time?
It's an interesting thought.
It's just kind of interesting because when you're in an entertainment business,
Yeah.
You're paid to go and entertain people.
Right.
Just all my songs are not entertaining. They're just really sad ballads. It's my ballad salads. But I mean, there are a lot of people. I'm entertained by truth and beauty, and oh my gosh, I can't believe he's saying that or she's saying that. I feel like that. I feel like that helps people. But you know, in today's society, I feel like we associate being happy and you know, telling a joke to be, oh, this person looks like they're doing really well, but I don't know.
I think the comedians are the darkest
Yeah.
of all the creatures that roam the earth. And
yeah,
they,
come into my lair. I'll show you all the dark
I mean,
stuff.
that's how people deal with pain, is through humor.
Right.
It's historically true. That's why the Jews are so damn funny.
Oh God,
right?
I'm dating a Jew. And,
Yay.
and
my people, my father's Jewish, so, you know, I grew up where
lucky
sense
thing.
of humor was always, that was the thing that thrived in the house. Even no matter how much the house was falling apart,
Wow.
or the chaos of it all, there was still the humor was still happening in its weirdest forms.
Wow, that's
You know?
interesting.
But I think that's how people survive darkness.
Absolutely.
You know?
No, because I mean, and as Carrie Fisher said, you know, if it's just truth and it's not funny, it's just truth, and that can't happen. You know, like, so you got to make fun of
I
your
love
truth.
her. Rest her soul.
Man, I love her. Do you know what I do at night? This is where I thrive.
I was gonna say masturbate, but then
Well, I will. You'll see those later after we do our cribs. Anyway, there's Bibles and vibrators right in the same corner.
That's good. I think it's important. The duality of man
the duality.
has got to be represented.
Why don't we hang out? Oh my gosh, this is so funny. What was I talking about with
Late at night.
late at night. I like to get all my bath salts, and I like to take my bubble bath with my shoes facing left. But I put on Carrie Fisher's audiobook of Surrender to the Pink, or Surrender the Pink, and Postcards from the Edge. I highly recommend.
Postcards from the Edge is
Unbelievable.
brilliant.
But listening to her read it,
Yeah.
it's like better than the movie with
Yeah.
Meryl Streep.
And anyone with mommy stuff.
Mommy issues, I have those, and daddy issues. But like, she is such a truth teller.
Yeah.
She's so funny when she's telling it.
Yeah,
I just
agree.
love her. I love her pain, and
Yeah.
I love her the way that she talks.
Well, like every great comedian, she's not afraid to stand in her fear.
Right, and I have a hard time with that. I'm
Yeah.
doing that now.
Yeah, my dad said to me once, which I thought was really interesting. We were talking about bravery, and my father is a very wise soul indeed. And he said, you know, people confuse bravery with an absence of fear, and that's not what it is at all. It's in fact being absolutely terrified and doing it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of that often because in truth that is the bravest thing we can do.
Mm-hmm.
So and you speak of like we live in an age where truth maybe doesn't resonate as much, but I think that's because people are so afraid to feel anything.
Wow. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I concur, and I agree.
But I've always been drawn to the people that are in the fire. They feel
Speaking
things.
of,
Yeah, fire
there's
truck.
a
Oh,
fire
that's
truck.
just as if on cue.
That was cute. You didn't even have to put that in your sonical note.
Yeah, this is not NPR.
This is so funny. But like, no, I mean, I have a lot of fears, and you know, I feel like I have this old soul that was told really, really young that, wow, you're talented, you have a voice. I didn't really know. I just mimicked people. And then I was dyslexic. I mean, I charmed my way through school. I didn't go to high school. I mean, I graduated from high school. I think I graduated early, then moved to Nashville. But I question if I'm smart. I question if I'm street smart all the time. I wake up and I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. I don't have any bullet points or anything. But I'm learning. I've made a living of playing music my whole life, and I don't know how to play an instrument. Yeah. You saw me at the songwriters night.
Yeah.
I was like,
but you
know
were
what?
brave and did it anyway.
I'm like, look, I'm going to sing a song called American Actress. I just wrote it. It has 3 chords.
Killer.
I don't think I'm going to screw it up, but of course.
Killer song.
Thank you.
Killer song.
I did it. The verse, you just stay on the same chord, and it didn't happen, and Britain ended up saving the day. But anyway, that's such a fear for me. It's just playing the guitar and singing at the same time, like the coordination, like drummers coordinate. I don't know. I feel like I've been told you're good at this, so just keep doing that. And then now I'm branching out into other things like...
It is amazing how much we believe what we're told.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like that's not only is life about learning to love oneself and others, it's also learning how to unravel all the stories we've been told about ourselves that may or may not be true.
Wow, yeah.
You know, and rewriting them, being okay with like pulling out the eraser and being like, you know what? I don't like that chapter. I think that was wrong.
That's true.
You know?
Man, I want to just talk to you. Turn the tape off so we can start crying.
You're welcome to cry. We have cried on this show
I mean,
before.
like, I'm like, now I'm obsessed with your podcast because if this is what you do...
it varies from person
really
to
is.
person, you know. Every story is different. That's why I'm doing it, because
Yeah.
every story is different. And even though every story is different, we're all the same, no matter what.
Yeah, true.
So, for
Very
me, this is my little holding on to the hope that humanity will remember who it is.
Well, and you're also the last person that actually likes to listen to people. If you think about it, everyone wants to talk about themselves. In the selfie world that we live in, and right now she's making eye contact with me. Like, your eyes don't leave my eyes, and that makes me nervous sometimes. But yeah, no, like I really think that's such a gift to have your compassion and your.
Oh, thank you. That's
you know,
very
especially
kind.
coming from the world that you lived in and your upbringing, and
Yeah.
just from little that I know about you with the dinner that we had, which
Yeah.
I don't know what they know, and we don't need to talk about it. But anyway, I just think that that's just absolutely
Well, thank you.
that's
That's
such a gift.
It's very kind. It's funny, the eye thing. I had some friends over to watch a movie last night, and in the movie, it was We Are the Millers, and have you seen this movie?
No, We Are the Millers. No, I don't.
Okay, well, in it, I don't want to spoiler alert anyone, but it's a very funny movie. But in it, one of the young man is being taught how to kiss by two of the female characters, and he's keeping his eyes open, and they're yelling at him. And to my friends that were sitting around, I was like, wait, I think I sometimes keep my eyes open when I kiss. Is that am I not supposed to do that?
Don't
and
do
then
that, Susan.
And then I had this like little mini panic attack for the last guy I kissed. I thought, did I do that wrong? And then, you know, I was like, but he looked at me. And so then we got into this little mini debate about whether, and half of the room said, you definitely never open your eyes when you kiss. And the other half was like, you can do it sometimes, but...
Well, I mean, what
I'm
you
a
know
grown
what?
woman
Whatever feels
stressing
right.
out.
You can open your eyes if you want to. You can put tongue in there too.
Oh.
You can lick their nose.
Maybe by like, you know, licking them. That's like the third year of marriage, just the nose licking.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't.
I
Sometimes
take
when I'm
things
being
slow.
Susan, next time you go on your next date or whatever, this is what I used to do. I used to like to, you know, I bought a wedding veil at like a Goodwill, and anytime someone picked me up from my first date, I would open the door and be wearing the wedding veil.
That
I'd
is
go, hi, come in.
amazing.
I'm so happy you're here. Just to see if they have a sense of humor or
Smart.
not. Because then you just, if they're not laughing, you just say, look, I got a case of some constipation. You gotta get going.
Yeah.
You know, just to see
Your
if they
dream
break
guy will
easily.
just pull out a ring one day.
He'll just be
when
like,
you do
oh,
that.
okay, I get it.
This is on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll watch that reality show. I don't really watch those, but that one sounds entertaining. I think they actually have done that. It's Married at First Sight. So
Oh, really?
yeah, there's a reality TV show for everything.
Let me turn my phone off.
I used to joke that they need the reality show, well, no, we've jumped the shark when it's Who Wants My Kidney? And I would joke about that, like, but, and there was one in, like, Asia or something. They had one where people were vying for organs from people. And then, of course, everybody freaked out and it got canceled. I thought, oh my God. What is the world coming to? Anyway, enough about all that crap. So, childhood, did you do musicals and stuff, or were you like...
No, this is the funniest thing about me, is that I cut my tooth, my little tooth that sticks out. I cut my tooth on Annie, the soundtrack.
The best.
I would dance to Annie, the soundtrack. And Sandy Patty, because I grew up in a Christian home.
Oh.
You know, where, like, if you had anything with a beat, it wasn't right. Like, and then we weren't supposed to watch MTV, and I remember one time I rebelled and it turned on MTV, and Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire was on, and I go, oh my gosh, they're having hell on TV. This is so true. My parents were right. You know, we didn't start the flames.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I haven't really seen that many musicals. Funny Girl, Sound of Music, Annie, and that's pretty much.
Okay, you need to get you to some Danny Kaye.
Don't know that.
Danny Kaye is one of my all-time. He's one of my heroes. I wanted to be him when I was little, and he is hysterical and brilliant, and I feel like you would love Danny Kaye.
Well, I need to get into that. I will write that down.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it's just funny that I don't imitate musicals. I I just like
Yeah.
those three that I
So
love.
what started you on that journey then?
With musicals, well...
No, with music and like
With music
when
in
you
general?
say I'm going to be an artist.
Oh, you want to know my story? Okay, well,
Yeah.
when I was, my sister was in a pageant in Iowa, and
like
she
pageant?
was in one pageant,
Okay.
and I was 7 at the time, and I remember being I was hooked on the lights, the hairspray, the glittery gowns, and very much jealous of the attention she was getting. And it was just this, I loved like all those tan girls running around with their side scrunchies and their ponytails, and Cyndi Lauper. They were dancing to Cyndi Lauper. Girls just want to have fun. And there's a picture of me sitting on my mom and dad's lap, just envious, and I was so jealous. So like after, she won Miss Congeniality, I was begging my mom to be in a pageant. So she found a pageant at the Holiday Inn in Muscatine, Iowa, and there were 6 girls there. I had to have a talent. I said, well, I'm going to sing Patsy Cline, because 2 weeks ago, Mackenzie played me this cassette tape of this woman singing, and it blew my mind. My mom didn't know I could sing, so she went to the Goodwill. She spray painted some boots, cherry red, that didn't fit my feet, bought me a Walmart outfit, and I sang Walking After Midnight. I growled on the key change part. I just copied Patsy Cline. I imitated Patsy singing like that, and my hat was... You can't see what I just did because
you were moseying.
I was moseying.
Was that a mosey?
I was
I felt that.
Before emojis, there was emojying.
Moseying.
And I won the whole Little Miss Talent thing, and then my mom asked me if I wanted to take voice lessons in the mall, and I said nope because I hated learning. I was dyslexic, and I said, wait a minute, will I get to sing in a microphone? And she goes, I'm sure. And I go, book it. So I took lessons from this woman named Lise March, and it kind of developed me. I started singing at car washes. She told me I was really good.
Uh-huh.
And I think getting attention from an adult and getting that early praise from all these adults, that was my safety net, is to be talented. So I kept winning these karaoke contests. I beat Lise March in one of a karaoke show, and then I started going to Nashville when I was 14 with my parents. We drove up and down Music Row trying to get a record deal.
Back when people did that.
Back when people did that. You knocked on doors, you handed them your tape and your picture. And Kyle Lenning, I still have the letter of Kyle Lenning writing me a letter saying, look, this business is super hard. You're way too young to be here. I think you're incredibly gifted. But and I sang with a bubble in my throat. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I was hooked, and then I just started. I made a cassette tape named Emily Rose. I was renamed Emily Rose by a manager that took all of our money. Your basic story, classic story. But I met Mark Friedman, our good friend, through that whole situation, and I just kind of figured out who I was. Then I moved here when I was 18, got my car repossessed, signed to Warner Chappell, learned to be an adult, still trying to learn to be an adult, and started writing songs because that's what I was told to do. Mm-hmm. And the reason, I honestly don't think that I'm a writer. I don't, me saying that I am a writer, but the more that I follow the etiquette of how to write, I'm just not. But I am a writer of truth, and I probably will write a book one day, just because I have so many stories. But I just pretended to learn how to write songs my whole life. That's why I don't know how to play an instrument, because I just had this other voice, this voice.
Sure.
But it took me a while to really find out who I was, and when you have people going, "Oh man, you're so talented, but what do we do with you?" You start, again, you believe what people say. You just start to feel like unfigure-outable and kind of lost, and then, but with that, I just started to rebel, and I started to listen to, the people I did in my bedroom, like Bette Midler and Barbra Streisand and Judy Garland, Patsy Cline, and those rich torch singer voices, and I just was like, I'm sick of trying to be like everyone else, trying to write songs about, well, I wore tight jeans and I rode the tractor, or, not like that was a song, but. Right.
That was a song, but for Kenny Chesney, I think.
Yeah.
He had a lot of tractor songs.
Yeah. I just tried to fit into this world, and I felt like I was acting the whole time. And it just felt awful. I hated it.
Well, and there's something to be said about when you see someone on stage and they're singing songs, whether they wrote them or not, if they don't believe what they're saying, that
I can see through that.
Yeah,
right
and
away.
it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to watch that. It doesn't feel good to feel that. There's no connection. There's no communion with that.
Right.
So the first time I saw you perform, first of all, the place was dead silent, which was great, because you don't get that a whole lot in general. People, in you, the royal you, the world does not, these days, I should say, maybe appreciate hearing the music on stage. There's a lot of talking and things like this, but in this instance, it was dead silent. And this was a long time ago, and I just remember going like, who the fuck is this? Your voice and your truth came out so much. And I think it was at a time when you were definitely still in the machine that is this industry. But you can't keep a good man down. I think no matter what, the truth of you always eked through.
Right.
Even if I'm just saying that to you, that even if you felt like you weren't being real, it's certainly from the perspective of at least me, that was coming. The truth of you was still coming through. And then just like 2 years ago, I saw you at 3rd and Lindsley, and somebody yelled out to do this song, and you did it. It was it Gloriana.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I wept
during
that. Which, I mean, that's communion. That's the moment where whatever the universe is made of, whether you believe in God or stardust or science or whatever, it's like this thing comes down through the person and then out into the audience. And it's like we're all one person. It's such a beautiful thing.
You're such a beautiful light.
It's
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. So
thank you. That song I wrote with K.S. Rhodes, who is one of my favorite humans ever.
He's super talented.
And he has a way of just, he can hit a chord and then melodies just, I feel like I know shit.
Yeah.
He'll just one chord and it's like, grrr.
Yeah.
But we wrote that song and it was just, we were into Sigros.
Yeah, Sigaros. I can't say it either. I know who you're saying.
How do you say that
I
name?
think it's
Sigaros?
Cigarettes.
It's cigarettes.
I don't know. Okay. Doesn't matter. We know what we're saying.
We just, like that was a special song. That is a special song, and I appreciate you saying that. And I credit the audience too when they're quiet, because you don't really get a lot of that. And I credit anyone, even if they're loud with their shoes on, when you go out to a show to support art in the world of YouTube where you don't have to go out anymore.
Absolutely.
I've especially taken advantage of that and just, but it's wonderful when someone wants to hear you, and
right.
I'm very grateful for that. I still get nervous because I don't feel worthy of it. So when they're listening, I feel really good.
I think
nervous
is
as well.
just reminding you you're alive. I mean, if you stop ever feeling nervous, you sort of, in a way, let go of that childlike wonder that's like, what's going to happen next,
Yeah. Well, and I also think that that's kind of the thing I'm trying to break. We're getting intimate here. That's the thing I'm trying to break, is trying to please people. Just because when you're on stage and no one's paying attention, you're going to try anything. That's why people are, pulling their tits out all the time, or they're, just doing shock valued things just to get attention. And I guess a part of me, like, I love that I grew up singing, but in some way I just feel like I've hid behind that. So it just hid behind whatever it is I was afraid, when I was really afraid to be seen. If I didn't have anything to say, that's just like, sometimes I talk too much. If I'm nervous, I'm probably talking too much. I'm not maybe making a point, but to just be quiet for me is a big thing. I've tried the meditation thing, but it's so hard.
It's really hard. It is.
My whole point to that was, what was I saying? What was I even getting to? I don't even know.
I think we were talking about how you feel when people aren't listening versus are, and just the pandemonium that has ensued with artists trying to get attention.
Right. I feel like I feel like I know my audience, and I need to trust them more, knowing that maybe smart people might come and just want to not be entertained all the time and just hear truth. You don't need to make everything a comedy bit just because I'm the one that's nervous.
Yeah.
but I get really nervous in a crowd if if I'm going to a show and someone is like over trying and I can see it.
Yeah.
I'm just a judgmental person, and that probably has something to do with me and my own.
Oh, sure.
Judging.
I mean, we see in others what is in us,
right? In
order to reflect it off of ourselves, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing humans do.
Elaine Stritch, she does this. What I do is I look up YouTube interviews of all my favorite heroes, and Elaine Stritch is talking about talent, and she goes, "If you don't have talent, get off the stage. You're wasting my time. But if you got it," and I'm talking Mama Rose got it, "oh, now that's coffee. That's coffee." Like it just turns her on so bad. Sure. And I appreciate the honesty, and I also agree with her, but I also know that it's hard up there on stage and you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the ones that are in their stride learning and how to figure out entertainment, because I'm still learning.
And it's a different game now than perhaps when we were younger, trying to figure it out, for sure. And different things matter to people that maybe, it's a weird time for the entertainment world when things like how many people like your Facebook page seems to be more important than
the talent.
Yeah, and it's funny, I think about this stuff a lot, actually, and I like reality TV shows being a prime example of that. Way back in the Roman Empire, let's say, what did people do for entertainment? But they watched men being slaughtered by lions, or
live with no
or,
filter,
right? Or men being slaughtered by other men, or whatever it was, And I think that there will always be that sense in humans to need something more demonstrative, for lack of a better word.
What does that mean?
Like how the reality shows are so over the top, or how Lady Gaga is a good example. She was always an extraordinary pianist and singer, but nobody noticed until she slapped some beef on her face and wore a bikini, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like, wow, really? Like, she's the same person, and we are in a city where you're nothing until you get that first big single or something, and nobody gives a crap until that happens, but you're still that same person. Whether you have a publishing deal or not a publishing deal, whether you have a hit song or not a hit song, it doesn't fundamentally change anything. It's literally a question of 24 hours.
Right.
Which I find this to be a fascinating subject. I think it speaks so much to who we are as human beings. Everyone's so scared. Music industry people are scared to lose their jobs. They're scared to pick this one if this one isn't a winner. They're scared to not pick that one if that one is a winner.
Completely. Or what's the deal? She's had over this many record deals, and let's say Vince Gill had over 12 record deals or something, and
people pass on the Beatles for being too guitar-y. I mean, whatever,
That's why I think it's important, and I think Tom Waits, when he was young, he had this persona of him being an old man that just drinks all the time, because he didn't want to really be him, but it was like a character. Randy Newman was a character. Lady Gaga had a character. Now, Miley Cyrus, I think that's who she is, maybe, just with, just the trends and stuff, but I do feel like you hire the stylist that tells you who you are if you don't know who you are. But I think people, real artists like Lady Gaga, I love Lady Gaga.
I do too. I think
fantastic. That she can take off her makeup and she can become this true person, and then she can also become the meat, person.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, man.
Well, she understands the concept of character.
Yes.
Yeah. And
are you watching Glow on Netflix?
I love that show.
That show, it was so amazing.
First of all, I love Marc Maron anyway.
Oh, Marc Maron.
That show is fantastic.
It's so great.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fun for me to watch because they had to develop these characters. Yeah. And I struggle with that too. I'm like, okay, am I a character now, or am I not? But if I invented a character on stage, that would be so fun. I could wear a bear outfit and sing a really sad song. Yes. Wouldn't that be cute? I think Annie Lennox did that. Remember?
Yeah, I actually do remember that.
Judy Garland did it. She dressed as a
Annie
tramp.
Lennox is a great example of somebody that played a persona of the androgyny, David Bowie as well. All these people.
Yeah.
Even to some extent, the Mick Jaggers of the world. They're all in a persona of their own.
Yeah.
Divide. you speak of characters and trying to figure out who you are. You did this when we did our round together, and you did The American Actress.
Yes.
Which, first of all, when I found out that you wrote that, I was shocked that you wrote that, and that you wrote the Don't Ever Go to Paris When You're Lonely. Not that because I don't think you could write them, but because they are songs that emulate a classic feel. And so they sound like they were written 100 years ago. And I mean that in the biggest compliment sense. They don't sound like somebody just went in a room and, 3 hours later had this song. They sound like something that Gershwin wrote. Or,
oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like they're really meaty. They're very touching. They're sublime. Like these songs, they're saying something without shoving it down the listener's throat. It's very tricky to combine all those things. But the thing that struck me with the American Actress song is that it sounded, as I was listening to it, I said, man, she really knows how to, because I didn't really know, because I don't know you very well, so I don't know if you're a cover.
Well, I'm always changing.
Well, yeah, and I
don't know who I'm going to run into.
That is a great
Some say that I'm unstable. I go from Garbo to Grable.
Right, that's the line.
You
in
never
that
know
song.
what you're going to get.
Exactly, and I thought, listening to that, I thought, man, if she wrote that is, talk about laying yourself bare. So would you talk about that song for a minute and what it means to you? And as you say, you're always reinventing or even maybe hiding from who you are or trying to figure out who you are, how that song speaks to that.
Yeah, man,
read that, sorry, say that line again, just because I don't think people caught that was from the song. Say that again.
Well, it was me learning the guitar, and I have 3 chords that I know, and I just was kind of strumming, and I don't know what chords to go back to, so I was kind of struggling, and but I wrote this journal and entry, and I'm going to therapy, and I'm dating this guy, and I'm always changing because I don't want to lose him, but then I don't really want a relationship, and I'm a mess, and that's okay to be in that place, and I think that we should be a little bit more honest with ourselves, but I have hidden behind, anytime I go out, I'm like, okay, who am I going to be? Am I going to be the shy girl that's like really smart, or am I going to do this? Or am I going to be loud? Like, what kind of it's hard for me to go out. But the first line is, you just want the chorus is
whatever.
Some say that I'm unstable because I go from Garbo to Grable, scared to death that one day you'll get bored. I'll lay across your mattress like a real American actress, and I've been that way ever since the day I was born.
It gives me shivers. It's brilliance. It really truly is. And when you sang that, I was like, damn, she feels that. As do many people. I think we're constantly, no matter how evolved, we're always evolving, but wherever we are, no matter how grounded it feels in the moment, the second we interact with another human being, all the shit's out the window, it feels
completely.
like. And it's like, okay, who am I in this moment? Who am I in reference to them? It's like this constant blinding mirror back and forth.
Right.
And so I think that your saying those lines is going to resonate so much with people.
Right.
How is it resonating with you?
Oh, man, you're so great. You're like a wonderful Oprah. Like, just
you
such
get
a
car!
gift. Today is
You
such a gift.
car!
I love questions like this. It just resonates because I am I'm going to therapy to figure out who I am, like who I am without hiding behind a religion that I was told to love Jesus at a very young age, and I do, but I'm discovering who he really is from my perspective instead of someone else's perspective. Also politically what I believe. I don't watch the news. A man, I hide behind, a relationship. I become whoever he wants me to be for a little bit. And then all of a sudden I go, oh, I don't know if I like this. And then I run, and then, and I think it all stems from being an entertainer and taking a lot of energies on and being empathetic, because I want everyone to like me. So, but just without anything, without someone telling me who I am and telling my own story for me, this is who she is. Just looking at that, I can't believe that I was born. I'm here for a reason. I'm such a gift. Life is such a gift. I was given a gift. And the more that I just say this gift isn't mine, It's not mine to have and to have ego with, and I just enjoy the process, and I enjoy the people, and enjoy the people that believe in me, that love me for who I am, whoever I'm at, you know, whoever I am, because those people authentically see me and at my core, and I have to remember that in the midst of everything with music business. I mean, I'm a child of God, and I've been given a gift, and I don't know what is going to happen. But I really think that that gives me peace, because if I get in my own head too much, I'll write another American actress, and it won't be that great, because I'll be, 40, and all right, figure it out already. But I love sad melodies telling me horrible things. I just love that. I think that's my church. And most people like babies or, trees. I love beautiful songs. Yeah. That's my tree, is a beautiful song. And I love it. I hate the music business. I'm like a dog when it comes to anyone wanting to manage me, or
How do you mean?
Well, just because who's managing artists? We got so many artists here in this town, and very few people that know what to do with where the music is going. And to put your trust into someone is just hard. I feel like a dog that nobody, I feel kind of like a dog that's gonna bite a baby, because if you believe in me too much, I'm like, okay, how are you gonna screw me over? It's just really, those things. I've just had a lot of. It's just I think that everyone is kind of confused with where it's going.
Yeah.
And the more that I think about it, the more sad I get. So I just write music, and I just go walk my dog and do my hair. And
You have a dog?
Well, it's actually a sad story. I do have a dog. Sometimes it's with me, and sometimes it's not. My parents, they have a backyard.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, it's getting crowded over Nashville and the cars and stuff. So she loves Moosey too, who is my Jewish dog.
Oh.
Who's my mom's Jewish dog, and they live together.
Okay, good. I love dogs. I'm a big fan. Big fan.
I do too.
The truest hearts there could ever be is a dog.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's interesting because whenever I talk to somebody who struggles with all the things that we struggle with as a human being, with the ego and getting out of our own way and not sure of ourselves and all the stuff that goes with being a person, and then you throw yourself into the most Roman of arenas. You were on America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
How the hell do you navigate something like that, where not only are people judging you on your voice and your talent, but let's be honest, people are judging you on, is your hair in place? Is your ass too big?
Yes, completely.
You know what I mean? Like, all that stuff. So how did you wrap your brain around that?
Well, I do. I was in New York at the time. I wanted to move there just because I had to get out of Nashville. I love my family very much, but there was a lot of codependency there, and they were just, I just needed to just figure it out, and it was my dream to move, so I sold my car. Everyone was terrified. I ended up putting this Facebook post up online. I was in Astoria watching my clothes spin in the dryer going, oh my gosh, I said goodbye to my dog. I sold my car. Now what? But man, I feel free. And that was the coolest moment of my life. And it was terrifying, but I was there and I didn't know where God was going to take me. And then all of a sudden, everyone, like Daryl Brown, and he hooked me up with just some people in New York, and that led me to America's Got Talent. Now, I wasn't a fan of going on that show. I really had my doubts, because I know in reality TV, they can make you look really bad. I mean, they can ask you questions, and then they can skew the interview and edit it in a way. And I was like, you know what? I don't have anything to lose, and I'm running out of money. And the only thing that can save me is my voice here. And it's, even if I get 1,000 more views on a YouTube video of mine, that'd be great, because maybe a producer will see it, and then I can go on Broadway. But it ended up working for me, and I told my story, which was a really hard story to tell. I said I had a record deal. I was a country singer. Now I live with my parents. And, I'm in my 30s, and I don't know where I'm going to go. But I just was vulnerable and sad as I could. Not sad, but hopeful. And I think that everyone wanted the underdog to win in that case. So I went on, in that weird outfit, and they flew Jesse Hall out to play with me, and I don't know how to do much, but I know how to sing. I will tell you that. I was not scared. I mean, I was just like, whatever. And Howard Stern trying to throw me under the bus, going, "So I hear you're having a hard time in your career." Like the first moment,
It's a very Howard Stern-y question.
And I go, "Oh yeah," I said it because the subway is so hard. And I watched a Cyndi Lauper in her interview on David Letterman, he was trying to throw her under the bus because she had this character like, "Yeah, I was at the bus the other day," and she just fed him lines like, "I'll be the idiot you want me to be and just play this character." And I think that's what made him like me. Just the fact that I was, you're not going to do that to me in front of millions of people. Yes, I'm having a very hard time. I'm in my 30s trying out with all these children on a show. But man, that was such a gift to be on the show because it brought me to a new level. It was everything I've ever dreamed of. Singing at Radio City Music Hall with the orchestra in a gown. It was like...
That gown was something.
Oh, man, so many gowns. They were like...
That red one, though, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, like the women that make these gowns, they handmade these gowns for me, and I felt like Cinderella. Like birds were flying and holding up the fabric, and I just was in New York, and it was a dream. It was scary at the end because you have to work quick on your feet with all the people. You have all these people's attention, and you have to make a record now. So we made a record really quick under Sony, and it was in Target, and that was great. My CD was at Target right next to Taylor Swift.
Yeah. So how does one move from that moment to the moment you're in now?
Well, let's see. I was signed to Sony, and that's kind of the deal that I had to sign because when you do the contract.
And you came in second.
I came in runner-up.
The Magician
won.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, I wanted to go back and see Tennessee again. I was like,
well, I hear it's not great to win those. It's better to not win those, from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I would have been a little rich.
Oh yeah,
but
I mean, it's for money.
It's only about, if you break it down, it's not that. It's not $1 million.
Yeah.
But whatever worked out, it worked out, and I got to make a record with my good friend Dustin Ransom, and he played everything himself. We made the record within 2 months, and everyone seemed to like it. We did the songs from the show, like Nights in White Satin, which, if I'm fully honest, I can't stand playing live. It's just, everyone I know, if you're listening, you love it, but I probably will never sing it. It's so melodramatic, and I don't know what the words mean. These hippies are writing songs that I don't understand, but it's a beautiful song.
A lot of LSD.
Yeah, a lot of LSD, man. So anyway, but I got the opportunity to, go to New York and do a residency, and then Los Angeles and Chicago, and then I got to tour the world and toured with Jay Leno, and that was a dream come true. With the most kind man I've ever met.
I've heard he's very nice.
Incredibly down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. I just got to sing with Cyndi Lauper,
who I love,
who I adore. She gave me my favorite advice I've ever gotten. I said, Cyndi, this is before I was on the show. She came to Nashville, and I go, Cyndi, I want to move to New York, and I'm terrified of making some choices. And she goes, kid, don't be terrified. All you got to do is turn up the music and spirit dance. Go take some spirit dancing classes. It'll free your mind up. Next. And she gave me a hug. She was right. Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
Just move around in your living room and dance to some Steve Winwood, and the world goes away.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
But that was such a gift. I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm releasing a very excited about this record that I'm.
Yes, let's talk about that. Good
segue.
Such a professional.
Segue. Hello, baby cakes. Show business. I started making the record that I'm releasing in August when I was still under Sony. They heard some of the stuff, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know if we believe in this music." And I'm like, "I do." So they decided they were going to do a single deal on me, and then I was like, "Oh, well, I want to make a full record. I don't want to be old on a record label anymore. We've done that, and that's not fun." So they were kind enough to let me go, and I got to make a record with another hero of mine, Daniel Tashin. And it is basically a dark Disney, Barbra Streisand, Petula Clark, Annie Lennox, Joe Jackson, beautiful dream. And it's a 6-song EP, and it's entitled Symphonies. And we've been making videos, and I've been having a blast. And I'm so grateful because out of all this, Mark Friedman has believed in me the whole time.
Yes.
And
he's certainly absolutely a champion of you, as he should be. I mean, yeah, so... Wow. You've known him a very long time.
I have. And I struggle. I'm like, hey, listen, Mark, I can write country songs if you need me to write country. So he goes, no, please don't do that. I need you to be you. Just keep doing you.
You gotta appreciate that in a music person.
Completely. You don't have anyone doing that these days.
Yeah, when I signed there, he said, we had a conversation, because I was, turning in some country songs or whatever, and I get it, and I do that as well, try and do the commercial country. But I said to him, like, is it cool if maybe for every commercial radio song I turn in, I can turn in like 9 of the songs that I really want to be writing? Like, are you cool with that? And he said, absolutely. Like, he gets our need to be who we are.
Yeah.
Which I think is maybe rare. Maybe it's not rare, but I feel like it's rare in this business. I think
you're a pretty deep well, and I think that if you continue to write your truth, I think that's where the hit is going to be.
Yeah, I think that's true for
Mark
anyone.
Is smart enough to know that. Those of you who do not know who we are talking about, this is the president of our new publishing company, Demur Music.
Yeah.
And you don't have people that think like that anymore. Don't you like my pillow that I have between my legs so you don't see my magical parts?
It's good.
It's very much like getting a petty.
Your magical parts.
My magical part. That got me my deluge deal. I'm just kidding.
It used to be like that in the music industry. I guess it's still like that in the industry, but not for us.
No.
We got that thing called talent, kids.
Yeah, we're girls with mouths, but we don't need to use them.
That's right. Mine's been sleeping for a while, but anyway, moving on.
How is your dating life going? What's happening?
I don't really. First of all, I'm super busy, but I don't really date. I don't really get asked as much either. I think it's because
What do you mean as much?
Well, I mean, people don't just go, hey, I think people are so used to the app dating and stuff like that.
Swipe right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not on, I have no judgment on that. I'm just not on those things. And I think the art of asking a girl out or asking a guy out is lost in a way, and I just don't think it happens as much. Also, I'm weird. I have had experiences where I've been in bars and casually talked to the man next to me or the boy next to me or whatever and say, oh, and just start up a conversation because I'm interested in people and having the conversation, and then they think you're hitting on them. And then it's this awkward thing like, oh, no, I'm not hitting on you. I'm just trying to have a conversation.
Right.
So there's that. So maybe I'm just not good at it.
Well, no, I think that you're just probably still an incredible human, and we're all lost on our phones and stuff. But it's like you're like a Woody Allen girl. Like you're like Diane Keaton. You're Annie Hall.
I think that's a huge compliment.
There's not a lot of girls that are like that. You're very deep well.
I'm also not afraid to be alone, and I think because I'm okay with my own company, I find myself in space that I'm fine with. Every once in a while, like everyone, I get lonely and I think, oh, I should get a dog. Because, my dog passed away. Why don't you get a dog? My dog passed away about 1.5 years ago, and I'm just not ready to go there yet. That was more of a joke. It's like, oh, I need to get a dog instead of date. But I find that so many people believe that other people are meant to complete them, and I'm not looking for that person. I'm not really looking anyway, but somebody that comes to the door who understands that they're growing, yes, that they're always learning, that they're curious, but at the same sense, they're also not expecting me to fulfill them. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. A partnership, like a real partnership. And if it doesn't exist, I'm okay with that too. Mm-hmm. I don't need to fake my way through stuff at this point in my life. It doesn't feel right to me. Mm-hmm. I don't know what any of that means.
Yeah, you can't shine someone else's ship when your boat is sinking. You got to be.
That's great. Yeah.
You have to, and that's hard because in the world where men, we all are insecure, men and women. But you got to find a strong. if and when it happens, and I'm sure it will, whatever, but it's going to be, your man's going to be pretty earthly and solid and down to earth, understanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like he might be a younger man, too.
Oh, I totally think that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I'm okay
because you're
going
to teach him things.
Well,
a lot of things.
I've dated a few younger men, and I very much enjoy it. Not to say that older men, there's anything wrong with that. I've dated older men as well. I joke that I have about a 16-year window, so in either direction. So,
16-year window.
If they have their driver's license, if they can vote, and if they can go to a bar legally. All those things.
All those things are great.
Yeah, then you can join the table. Before being able to vote, I think before legally being able to drink. That's getting a little young, but,
yeah.
I actually was at a party with a girlfriend of mine, and there was a wide breadth of age groups, because people brought their children and their friends of friends and all this stuff, and there was a young man, couldn't have been more than 17, and it was a pool party, if you get where I'm going, like, just a nice specimen, and I turned to my friend, specimen. I turned to my girlfriend and I said, I think I might be a pedophile. And she turned and looked, and she's like, oh yeah, I get it. I mean, he was beautiful. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm checking out a 17-year-old boy. There was something wrong with me.
Well.
But whatever. Nature.
Well, nature, whatever, that's, when the kids start running in the fall, I always get excited about that, about that time, just because it's a new season, and there's usually a band playing in the middle distance of like a football, and I lived right next to, on 1428 Columbus Drive, it was the high school band, and you could hear all the drums, and it was like we were making caramel apples, and it just reminds me of a time, but also there's a lot of naked people running around down Belmont.
And women, we like seeing guys with their shirts off just as much as guys like seeing. I think that people don't understand, men maybe don't understand that women are highly sexed as well, and titillated by the form.
I get that if we're looking just at a person's body. I appreciate that scene, like a Norman Rockwell, just an awkward.
We went to different places.
Oh, really?
Well, because you think Norman Rockwell, and I'm thinking,
you're thinking of Barry White. I think Norman Rockwell, but I'm a big fan of just wit. Wit is my six pack. I don't really find, I'm not factually attracted to just beautiful men. I like funny, weird.
I am so there with you. But
stuff.
But when I see a nice specimen of a human, I think that looks good. But it's inconsequential when it comes to my dating life. No guy I've ever dated has looked alike, but they have all shared a quality, which is intelligence and humor. Two qualities. No, so I'm with you. They have to be funny. Funny people need funny people, I think.
For real.
Yeah.
I'm dating a guy that's really smart, and I don't feel like he can say. I don't know if he thinks he can say big words around me, because.
Is he a civilian or a music person?
He's Jewish. He's a music person, but he's incredibly smart. We just have we have a different way of telling a joke, and it's taken a while for us to get to know each other, but I'm learning he's really funny. And we were so busy trying to win each other over that we never won each other over. We were so busy trying to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was one of those things, but now that the wall is down, now we're getting somewhere where we're just enjoying each other. Because he's a chef, and he's
that's
super
fun.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Are you scared to date?
Scared?
Yeah.
Yeah, after 7 months is when I start getting scared, because then I've run out of bits. I've run out. The show is over. And now Emily Nemmers is here. Yeah. Do you want some ramen noodles? I don't know.
But it's interesting the fact that you have a stage name, Emily West.
Emily West and Emily Nemmers. Never know who's gonna be what. You're getting a little bit of a crossbreed today.
Is it confusing to be two people like that?
A little bit. I mean, not anymore. If I called my dentist, I'm like, it's for Emily West. Well, we have you down as Emily Nemmers. Well, that kind of stuff. But, that's why I have pictures like this. It's me, a young me in a frame. Like, I'm still that girl. Like, I was acting here.
Yeah.
So I'm acting now. But, and there's so many parts, but I think that it's really simple when I break it down. As long as I'm true with myself, and if I want to be funny, I can be funny. If I want to be serious, I can be serious. That's Emily West and Emily Memmers,
What's your goal? What's your...
My end goal for my life?
Yeah.
I'm at the age, I'm 36 now, and I'm at the age where I think I want kids. But then again, I don't. I've always played with dolls as a little girl, and I would always try to breastfeed them underneath my shirt. But I don't know if I would make I think I would make a good mom. I think I'd love taking care of things. But then I stopped taking care of them, so I don't know if the kid would be a stable kid or not. And I don't know if I'm necessarily gonna be a mom, but I have to, I don't know. I would love to have a daughter, though. Maybe I'll just get a dog. My end goal, I think I'm probably going to be an old, famous person. Does that make... And then I know that's a shallow thing to say. I'd like to be married, but I would like to have a one-woman show. Be brave enough to really get this thing done and be Elaine Stritch. And...
What about being Emily West?
No. I say an Elaine Stritch kind of type,
okay,
where
yeah.
she basically tells the story of her life. I have copious amounts of journals that are hilarious and so brutally honest and sad and funny and I don't know. I think I have a lot of things to say, but I don't know. That's such a hard question. My goal would be to maybe knock out American Actress on the guitar at the Opry one day. Nice. And not mess up and have a backyard and have a garden and be funny sometimes in Vegas. And maybe have a daughter that I adopt.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. Today, that's my answer.
Yeah. What's your least favorite thing about yourself? And your most favorite thing about yourself?
That's a great question. The least favorite thing about myself is that I don't trust myself. And I think it's because I'm just hard on myself. And I'm learning to overcome that. And I think I'm probably all right of a person. I'm pretty good. The good thing, the best thing about myself is that I'm a survivor, and I'm a good person to have at parties, and also to have in a bedroom with just a friend that needs me.
Mm-hmm.
I can switch pretty quick. So
yeah. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh, it's the cake batter, and it's everything on top, the gummy bears and the Heath. It's how I am, my personality. It's just everything on top.
You strike me as somebody who cooks well. Are you a good cook?
I am a good cook.
Yeah.
I can do that. I get weirded out with chicken, though.
Oh, yeah, I can't touch raw meat. It freaks me out.
That's what she said.
I know.
I love touching raw meat. No, I don't know. I think that it's the consistency of it, and I don't know if it's fresh. I don't or not. But I love to entertain. I love making people feel good, and I got out the watermelon for you, which was uncovered in the refrigerator, but
it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I like to cook. Do you cook?
I do. I enjoy cooking for other people.
Mm-hmm.
Left to my own devices, I eat quesadilla almost every day. I mean, that's just kind of and I have a salad. That's basically salad for dinner, quesadilla for breakfast. I'm golden. That's just pretty much a creature of habit in that way. But I do love a dinner party. It's my most favorite thing.
I one day just want to have a baby so we can have a baby shower where we can have those cucumber sandwiches, the little tiny ones. The only reason I go to baby showers is to have the cucumber sandwiches.
You don't need a baby for that. Just have a have a tea party. They used to be called tea parties.
I'm not pregnant shower. Bring cucumber sandwiches
no, when I was
and drink.
little, I remember my mother would throw tea parties for her women friends, and there was cucumber sandwiches with butter, and there was cucumber sandwiches with mayonnaise, and they had all the crust cut off, and there was tea, and there was cookies, and ladies talked, and I remember that distinctively.
I miss this. I miss just conversation.
Oh,
We're
it's
so good at this.
I love conversation.
Yeah.
And I prefer the conversation of strangers most of all, but it's good when there's a funny thing that happens even amongst friends and especially amongst lovers where in the beginning when you are strangers and you have a vulnerability, but there's that fearlessness too, where you're kind of allowing. You don't know who I
am yet, so
so you can be and
you create.
And you're letting the walls down and all that kind of stuff. There's something that happens after you're with someone, friend or lover, that you forget how to listen, and you forget how to be excited, and you forget. You know what I mean? Like you take it for granted. I think it happens with friends and lovers both. It's not just with lovers. So there's that fun thing that I am drawn to people. My friends are those who don't ever forget how to be excited to be in the moment and have the conversation. I love that. You know, complacency.
Yeah,
is a plague.
Right. Do you sit and read a lot of books?
I read. I'm voracious.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I buy a lot of. We saw each other at the bookstore. Can we talk about that night?
Yeah, sure.
I was having a bad day that day. You could tell. You came up to me, Susan. Susan was so sweet. It was the day that the Don't Ever Go to Paris When You're Lonely came out, and I was just kind of having one of those emotional vulnerability overload. Like I was like, oh, I hope people look at this video. I'm so proud of it, but where's the music business going? Completely selfish day. I was in my sweats, and I decided to go to the bookstore to buy a paper calendar, but I didn't. I bought books that I still haven't read yet. And I saw you with your friend Cora, and I just needed to see you. It was just like so sweet. At first, I was like, oh God, I know her and I look like crap and I hope she doesn't see me, but you saw me. And then the moment you saw me, it was like, hey, I appreciated that day. I really did. Okay. That was a weird day. I appreciated that.
Do you know, I think, so I remember that day as well. I was there to see a lecture of a friend of mine, Kate O'Neill, and that bookstore Parnassus, which is a fantastic
amazing
bookstore here in Nashville. And I was looking down or something, and you went by me, and I just saw the back of your hair, and my brain registered that energy is Emily West. Like I recognized your energy, not you really per se, and I thought, really? And I looked again, and then I kind of caught a little glimpse of your face. I was like, Emily. And I think what you're speaking about is something that, again, that feeling of, I see you. I don't care about any of the other stuff. Like, you see me, you don't care about all the other stuff. It's that moment where you go, oh, there you are. All that other crap doesn't matter. So even in our worst day.
I really, and I felt, with that being said, I just felt so seen, and I felt like, all right. Like the way you treated me and your kindness and you looking at me, I just felt like, wow, we're all just walking each other home, and I really appreciated that. Really did.
Thank you. That's nice of you to say.
So thank you for that.
And I think people don't understand too that when you give birth to a record or a video or anything creative, it is terrifying to bring that baby into the world and hope that people love it and think it's pretty and, want to send the baby further off into the world and all that. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
It's really, it is hard, but it's just more, I think it's a great video. You should check it out.
It's a very good, and I'll put links to everything on Hey Human Podcast as well. But
it's a great video, but like, it's just sometimes I don't look, it's a trend. Did I tell you this? I didn't tell you the story. I was driving to Alabama, and I'm in the car driving for the show, and I don't look like I do on stage. Of course, it takes some process and the curling iron and all that stuff, and I look like, hello, my name is Little Edie from Grey Gardens, and I get out of the car, and he goes, The dressing room is over there. The show time's at 7. Where do you want to sleep? You know, like it was. So he knocks on my door 10 minutes before the show, and he goes, "All right, we had Hey! You look just like the picture. Just what I ordered. You didn't look like that when you walked out. It was a transfer." So anyway, I feel like it's one of my favorite moments of all time. But yes, I looked just like the picture, and the guy started treating me like great. But that day, like, I don't know. I'm a great transformer, and that day I was like, I didn't care. But you saw me anyway, and I loved it.
Oh, absolutely. Name the record again.
It's called Symphonies, and the new single is out now called Don't Ever Go to Paris When You're Lonely. The next single is Heaven and Back, which we do the video next week.
Exciting.
And that'll be fun.
And I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I do, the first time I heard, again, that Don't Ever Go to Paris When You're Lonely was at that same show, and I was like, this is so great. Was this from the 40s or something? Or, you know, and in the song you mentioned the word suicide.
Mm.
And I thought, wow, now see, there's some truth. Because every publisher in the world was probably like, don't put suicide in there, you know. Mm-hmm. But not our publisher. But
Britney Spears, when she was singing, every time I run, you know, she dies. Like all the pop stars get to die in their songs, which is kind of drama and fun. Whitney Houston, well, shit, she really did.
Too soon.
Too soon. Whitney, yeah, no, just suicide. It's just about, don't take yourself too seriously. Just jump off the Eiffels in Paris, Tennessee. I couldn't afford the real Paris. We went to Tennessee to shoot it. And Eiffel, you could give the tourists an Eiffel.
Yeah, it's
you
brilliant.
You could jump off the Eiffel.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Daniel Tashin, brilliant man.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Emily West, welcome to the planet.
Thank you, darling.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you so much.
Keep shining. Thanks for being human.
Thank you for being human. Y'all be human.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.